What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Buckhouse Podcast. I am your host, Benjamin Buckhouse, alongside with Johnathan Buckhouse. We are super excited for this episode 7, because today, the day of filming, is actually the day that we are officially announcing the podcast. We've got 6 episodes for you guys to listen to. We are super excited to post these and announce this to the world to come and listen and watch us. So how do you feel about it, bro?
Yeah, I'm Johnathan Buckhouse, and I'm super excited. I'm Ben's older brother, and yeah, we've done this. When you think like 6 episodes, like dang, we've been crushing it. Most podcasts fail or don't reach 10 episodes. I think it's like 90% of podcasts don't hit 10 episodes. So we're not there yet, bro. We could still absolutely bomb this thing. But we filmed a couple episodes. We took a long break due to we never made it public. But I know both of us, when something is like official, especially for me, once I post something to my audience, like it's set in stone. It's written in the I don't know, the ground, whatever. It's got to happen. So this podcast is official now. We're going to be filming every Monday, and I'm excited. We're going to have like a week off. So just know that current events isn't really what we're trying to talk about anyways on this channel. So there's all that.
Yeah. And so we've introduced ourselves all the way back in episode 1 and stuff. But if you guys are not watching those or haven't watched those yet or anything like that, that is totally fine. There was this big long gap between the episodes, so we kind of just wanted to reintroduce ourselves, right? I guess since I'm already talking, I'll just go ahead and start. I am Benjamin Buckhouse. I am Jonathan's younger brother here. From there, I am a married man to a beautiful wife named Kirsty. We have 3 dogs. We live here in Colorado Springs. I am a social media manager for a trading card shop here in town. And I've been kind of really trying to do social media for quite some time now. This is the best opportunity I have been given. My main focus was always video games, which is a very competitive market, very difficult market to get into, but that's just like where my passion is at. But I also started Jonathan's YouTube channel with him, which let's go ahead and dive into Johnathan.
I'm Johnathan. I'm 33 years old. I snowboard for a living thanks to my social media. And yeah, I've always wanted to be a professional snowboarder. Was not good enough to compete, but then I started making goofy little videos with my brother and found an avenue that got me all the same sponsors as a professional snowboarder that's flipping 4 times. And I love it so much because I get to inspire others and let people know that they can find their own avenue to life and the ability to make a living with their dreams or whatever it is. And this podcast is my way of not struggling through the summertime, because the way snowboard social media works is you make your money for 3 or 4 months and then it's just dead all summer long. And my brother was like, yo, it worked when we had started that YouTube channel. Let's do a podcast. And I was like, it's not that bad of an idea. Plus, it's one of those things where in life, it's so easy to not talk with your siblings. Like I have 8 brothers and sisters, Ben being one of them. And it's so easy to not catch up with your siblings. And so this is just a great excuse for me to get on the phone, essentially, with my little brother and talk about stuff, inspire each other, relate. What's it called when you look back and, I don't know, maybe there'll be episodes where we get other siblings on, talk about family issues. Not joking, not family issues, but I don't know. I'm excited about this podcast. Once again, this is our 7th episode, so we don't have to beat a dead horse. We could just start talking, bro.
Yeah. I was going to say, one thing I really like about the podcast is it is an avenue that I want to say forces, but it gives us an opportunity to catch up and everything. When I was in high school, so Johnathan said his age. Jonathan's 33. I'm 25. There's an 8-year age gap between Johnathan and I, but even when I was in high school, Johnathan and I were very close. Every opportunity I got to go to the mountains, I did. I would spend like at least 2 weeks in the summer up at his house, and we would go do hikes or just play video games or just go do some mountainous activities. And so I always loved those opportunities. I try to go up on the weekends to go snowboard with him. And then we were also playing video games like almost every night together. We were constantly hanging out. So this is kind of one of those opportunities for us to, even with our crazy lives, right? Jonathan has 2 kids now and a very successful business. And then I've got all my avenues of like side hustles and to like my crazy life as well. So we can't all like play video games every night together and things like that. So it is nice to have this like 1 hour a week where we get together and we just be bros again. How do you feel, bro?
I love it. And we actually did something together this last month, which was called Whole30. It's this crash diet where you only eat whole food, meaning only uncured meat. You eat vegetables, fruit, zero dairy, zero carbs, zero sugar, zero added sugar. The only sugar you can get is the sugar that comes naturally in fruits. And this was my second time doing the diet, Ben's first time. And I know for me personally, the diet's very, very effective. How was the experience for you, bro, doing your first Whole30?
So, I want to like kind of take a step back to touch on what you were saying. So real quick. So one of the things that he said was no carbs. It's not keto. So you can have carbs. Your carbs just have to be from like natural sources, right? Like fruits. You can eat lots and lots of fruits. That's not the problem. The problem though is like you can't have any of the like the added sugars or any of that stuff, right? So there's that, but also so it is a diet. It's the Whole30 diet, but I see it like a lifestyle change, similar to like a vegan or vegetarian or pescatarian or something along those lines, because it's not so much like you are changing your life. It's like I'm not, instead of it being like I'm not eating meat or I'm not eating this or that, it's just I'm not eating crap stuff. And like that's just the reality is if you look at the ingredients on your foods, it's just full of crap, and it's stuff that we really shouldn't be consuming. And so this Whole30 lifestyle or this Whole30 diet, whatever you want to call it, it changes your lifestyle or changes your eating habits to where you're not eating that crap anymore. And it's only helped me out a lot. I've had some stomach issues, just where like literally I'll wake up the next morning after eating pretty generic food, like nothing too crazy, and my stomach will be torn up, and I would have like excruciating pains. I probably should have gone to see a doctor, but I was like, nah, I'll be okay. And I ended up just changing my diet, and now I feel amazing. I know it's like TMI, but like my bowel movements have never been better than ever. Like I'm so thankful I went on this journey, and we're officially done with the diet, but I'm still eating like as if I'm still on the lifestyle diet change or whatever. I've experimented a little bit. We like Saturday, Sunday was Mother's Day, yesterday. So Saturday I went to Denver to see my mother-in-law, and I had like 4 or 5 bites of banana pudding, right? That's something you're not supposed to do, or like on that lifestyle. But I was like, I'm okay. I can treat myself a little bit. But beyond that, I am very like still on the diet, bro.
Yeah. So my results, and I look at it more, but it's a 30-day, I call it a challenge diet because it's hard to, I mean, some people who literally live to the book period going forward. And me and my wife tend to do like an 80-20. So like after the challenge, which we do 100% of Whole30, after we try to go 80-20. So like a meal will be 80% Whole30, maybe 20% of that meal might be, there's rice or there's now bread. I know for me being a snowboarder, I have to have additional carbs. Like I have to have something that's going to give me more fuel, because whenever I'm on this Whole30 diet, it wrecks me in the sense of low energy. Like I can't do big backcountry missions. I can't snowboard. I literally snowboard like 2 hours less in a day because my energy is just not there. However, I went from 178 pounds from the first time, before the first time I did the diet, to now I clocked in on Friday at 150 pounds. So I had a massive weight. My computer just turned off. I had a massive weight loss journey with this. And so I do feel great. My stomach doesn't actually, I would say my stomach is wrecked on Whole30. My farts are so bad, but I see significant changes in my physical, but I do have lack of energy. But I'm hyped that you guys completed it, bro. I'm hyped that it has helped you so much with your stomach. My our older sister showed us this diet, who she had incredible success as well. She's lost like 30, 40 pounds doing Whole30. So it might not be for everyone. I know for our family specifically, our genes really do like this, like, I don't even want to say diet. It's like you said, it's a lifestyle. And really all it is look at the boxes that you're eating. And if there's added sugar, if there's words that you can't understand, it's probably not the best for you. Like food shouldn't have more than 5 ingredients in it. And literally there's food out there that has like 70 ingredients, which is like mind blowing.
You'll start to see ingredients that have parentheses to have other ingredients inside them. Like it is crazy how much just junk is in our food. And to give it an example, my wife and I are doing very similar to what Jonathan's saying, like an 80-20, actually probably closer to like a 90-10. So like 90% on the diet, 10% not on the diet. As an example, yesterday we were on the go. We were at Sam's Club, and we were really hungry, and we were looking at options. We really did debate getting sushi, which has the only thing on sushi is the rice. You're not supposed to have the rice, and if you use like soy sauce, you're not supposed to have any soy on the diet. But we do want to have sushi again. We love sushi, so the rice situation we're just gonna have to get past. But we opted instead to go with hot dogs from the like Sam's Club cafe. Now, although that's not the healthiest choice as a whole or whatever, I still ate my hot dogs without the bread. And I was dipping it in mustard and then the provided ketchup. Now, mind you, that provided ketchup has cornstarch in it and all this other stuff. Whereas the Whole30 approved ketchup that they sell, it's by this brand called Primal. Oh my goodness. That ketchup is the best ketchup I have ever had, bro. I don't know about you. I love that stuff. I would rather have that than this like sugary nonsense ketchup that exists.
Well, the Primal Kitchen like sauces that you're talking about, they have revamped them since the last year that I did them, and they were all so much better. So the first year we did Whole30, I was like not the biggest fan of the Primal Kitchen sauces and things, but now like, dude, they're awesome. And like you said, like they're just better for you products, which is rad. And so yeah, we will continue to use the barbecue sauce, the steak sauce, the teriyaki sauce, like all of the Primal Kitchen stuff. It's less ingredients, it's better for you. Like, yeah, get away from the name brand chemical filled products. And I just want to quickly say too, like, health is such a journey, and I have been the person that was like, I'm grinding out my YouTube channel and I'm working so hard and not getting a lot of sleep, and I used unhealthy tactics that put a lot of weight on me in order to grow my business, to get bigger. And everyone has their vices, their struggles, and just know that like health and your weight and all of that is a specific to you journey. And it's so hard to not beat yourself up about it. It's so hard to not look at others and be like, why can't I be that way? And it's just like, I want you to encourage you to go your pace, go your journey. You know, you are the only you to ever live on this planet. And so you got to find what works for you and all that type of stuff. So like with me, I know I now have this new way of eating that works really well with my body. And I'm really excited about that, because as someone that is an athlete, someone that snowboards for a living, like I need to be healthy. I want to snowboard as long as I can. And to finally have cracked the health code for me is rad, but it's still a long journey and I got way more to learn.
I want to also chime in here to be a like devil's advocate or something. I don't know, like just like a different perspective, I guess you could say. So for me, my starting weight was 169 and like a half. So we'll just say 170. I had like a little bit of weight around my stomach, but nothing too crazy. I've never been like a bigger guy or anything. And at the end, I dropped 6 pounds. I was down to 163 on the dot. But like my goal with this wasn't necessarily to lose weight. It was just to feel better. And I can say like I've never felt better in my life. Johnathan was saying he was lower energy. I actually had a lot more energy, but I know that this is one like driving factor on why, and that is I actually didn't go to the gym once during my time on the diet or on the lifestyle change, whereas Jonathan's like snowboarding and everything. It's not something I'm like proud of. It is something I want to get into. I've been using all these excuses, but truth be told, like I have been a busy person. I could still go to the gym. I just have been choosing not to. So, anyways, I did it, like I said, like not just to lose weight. Like it wasn't losing weight wasn't the driving factor or anything like that. I was just tired of feeling gross and being sick and just being like feeling that lethargicness or having headaches or whatever. Like my wife and I stopped taking vitamins. I would drink caffeine regularly, but if there was a day where I skipped caffeine, I felt fine because I was just so energetic from all the like I did eat a lot of fruit, and maybe that's one thing that kept me more energized than you, bro. You said you didn't have as many carbs, so maybe my fruit intake kind of counteract that and made me a little bit more energetic. But I don't know. I just felt amazing, and I don't want to go back. Like people are like, "Oh, don't you want to go get a pizza right now?" No, I don't. I haven't had bread or dairy or crap in 30 days, and like I just don't want that back in my life. I don't want those stomach pains. Yeah, I crave it every now and then, but no, I just would rather feel 100%. Then like you don't know what feeling 100% is until you're on this diet. You really don't. Like when you feel 100%, it's amazing.
I definitely want a pizza. I freaking love pizza. But no, I definitely pounded fruit. It's just like what happened to me. So it was like a week into the diet, I went and rode the mountain behind my house. It's called Ute Pass. And we underestimated how much of a skin it would be. And it took us 5 hours to get to the top of this mountain. And by the time I got up there, I used every ounce of energy in my body to the point that my body started failing me. And I pooped on top of the mountain and then started vomiting. And I couldn't keep anything down. So I couldn't keep any water down. I'm hours into the backcountry, throwing up and pooping on top of this mountain, and I got to get out of here. So I start making my way out. Couldn't keep any water down. My legs start cramping miles in the backcountry. I thought I was gonna die out there, and it just comes down to like I didn't have the proper nutrients to be doing what I was doing, in the sense of like I don't know, you need carbs in a lot of ways, and you can get them on the diet, but like I needed a Cliff Bar. Not really a Cliff Bar. I needed oats. I needed wheat. I needed, healthier carbs. Not healthier. I'm not saying this right, but but there's only so far you can go on just potatoes.
Yeah. Real quick, if you ever have like a life-threatening situation like that, maybe let your family know about it. This is the first time I'm hearing about this. Johnathan almost dying in the backcountry.
I got caught in an avalanche this year too.
I think you remember
this was
about
inbounds though at Breckenridge. It was like one of the first powder days of the season, and we were just hyped. And because I'm such a good snowboarder, I can get to areas that I think ski patrol wasn't expecting people to like get to. And so I like traversed over to this chute, and I was like, this is going to be sick. And right before I dropped, I was like, it's crazy no one else has rode here yet. And I was like, whatever. And I dropped it and then got taken out. So that happened. Thankfully, I fought like hell for my life, and that whole situation was fine and smooth. I did have Cody above me, so he maybe would have been able to dig me out, but pulled me right into a tree. Dude, I'll show you the video. It's wild. But sometimes things happen in my life that I don't share with the family because they are that life-threatening. And so I don't share them with Bobby either. It's kind of part of the game of Bobby, being like
don't listen to that athlete. Last part of the podcast. Just don't listen to that.
I don't think she'll listen to the podcast. She listens to my live streams, but I don't know.
That's so wild.
It's one of those things sometimes when you dodge that bullet, it's like, okay, like, I don't want to dwell on this personally because I don't want to freak myself out, but also like there's no need to freak out other people. Also, I'm not trying to seek attention by like scaring you guys, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you already seek enough attention.
I'm already getting way too much attention. But no, that's not why we do what we do.
It's morbid, but like it's a reality. So like my brothers in particular live dangerous jobs. Like Johnathan just telling us those two stories right there. But the reality is, like, Johnathan is an extreme sport. At any point, something could happen. So he has to have that kind of like sad reality, but also be cognitive of that just in case anything. You have to be on top of your game. But it's also like our other brother, Tyler, who hopefully will be on this podcast eventually. He's a firefighter, and he's on the. So if you don't know, there's two types of fire trucks. There's a truck and an engine. A fire truck is normally what you just see, I believe, driving around to like medical calls, things like that. And then a fire engine is the one that has the ladder, and those ones particularly go to fires. Well, our brother is on the engine, so he responds mostly to fires and things like that. So it's like, it is a reality I've thought about where it's like, dang, both my brothers have like scary jobs, and it's not fun, but it's also like, you guys have dream jobs, right? Tyler's dream job was to be a firefighter, and your dream job is to be a snowboarder. So it's like, I'm so happy that you guys are doing what you love, right? But it is still scary. So
yeah, I mean, it's a weird feeling when like I'm going to go do backcountry, and it's like, okay, not like I do my precautions. I've taken my avalanche classes. I check the forecast. I go out when it's below moderate avalanche dangers. I try to stay out of avalanche terrain. Sometimes we call it riding the line. So with avalanche, anything that's between 30 and 45 degrees is like prime avalanche terrain. So the best way to not get caught in an avalanche is to not ride avalanche terrain. Well, guess what the best slope is to ride? About a 35-degree pitch, like right in the middle of avalanche terrain is like the most fun slope. So if you can ride the line between 28 and 30 degrees, you're less likely to get an avalanche, but you're going to get really good riding still. And so I could do all my precaution, all that type of stuff, but once again, what happened at Ute Mountain, literally the mountain you could look at from my house, and I wasn't expecting my body to fail on me and start cramping with 3 miles left to get out of the backcountry. But there's something you have to have in you, especially if you can do backcountry or like in extreme sports or be a firefighter, where like I know for a fact, and it's one because I did it the other day with that backcountry mission, but I've done it multiple times with hikes and snowboarding, that like I can go so deep within myself. Like I'm not gonna freaking die out there, dude. Like it's in, like, you know, like I have this thing in me that's like, I'm not dying. And so where some people like give up and they're like, oh, someone help me, I need help. Like I know no one's gonna help me, and no one is gonna help. I'm gonna freaking get out of this thing. Like I don't know, it's this weird inner dialogue or like inner thing that's like, oh, not today, dude, not this stupid, I ain't dying this stupid way.
it's willpower. Like I strongly believe in willpower, right? I strongly believe in willing something into existence. Like watching sports games is a great example. Like Patrick Mahomes will in a victory. Like he will make it happen. Like he'll make a throw that shouldn't be made, and it happens to work. All right, like it's because they like make it happen. That's why Tom Brady is the GOAT. Like that's the reality, is he just like willed it into existence. And like same thing for you. Like you're like, I'm not dying in an avalanche. Like period. Yeah. It's not happening, and you just will it to existence. So
yeah, I mean, avalanche, anything. I mean, yeah, like anything can happen. And I don't want to like, let me knock on some wood, but in the sense of like, okay, my legs are cramping. Like I'm gonna figure this out. Like I'm getting out of here, type situation. But no, like I always, it's hard when like the backcountry mission, you usually leave really early, so like at 5 or 6 in the morning. But it's like the night before, I always make sure I gotta give the kids like extra kisses and extra time. And it's like, I don't know, you try not to think about it, but it's there. It's like, dude, like make smart choices today. Don't do something stupid. And that's why like the avalanche that I did get caught in was on a ski resort, because I turned off my backcountry brain. And I learned a valuable lesson that day, where it's like, hey, like I know you're on a ski resort, but you can't just like run around blindly expecting that, oh, ski patrol took care of me. You know, like still use your backcountry brain, know the forecast in the area on the resort that you're riding, even though you're inbounds, because inbounds avalanches can and have and did this season happen. So yeah, don't trust other people to protect you. But I do have life insurance for the family. So God forbid, or God willing, whatever my path in life is, if I was to croak or get buried, the family would be taken care of, at least.
Thank you for taking care of me, bro. I appreciate that.
For you, yes.
But no, actually, you touched on it earlier, and I'm not saying this to like be mean or anything, but you did mention that it's like the ski patrol, like you're probably better than most of the ski patrol people, and that's a reality, and it's not to harsh on ski patrol. To your average snowboarder / skier listening, I'm sure that the ski patrol that you are experiencing are at like, you know, they are a little bit more experienced than you, right? But for Jonathan's lived up in the mountains alone for what, like 17 years or something like that.
15,
like,
yeah. I'm on my
15.
Going on 16.
Going on 16. So Johnathan has lived in the mountains for 16 years. So he's been snowboarding pretty much no less than 100 days a season for the last 16 years. And then from there, you were still snowboarding before then. You know, you've been snowboarding for like 2 decades, longer than that. And so like you have all this experience. And so it's like, yeah, you probably can reach areas that like ski patrol kind of knocked off the radar. They're like, nobody's going to get there. Nobody's going to do that. And then here comes Johnathan Buckhouse.
Yeah. So, yeah, life is interesting. Backcountry, all of that type of stuff. So I will encourage anybody, if you want to get in the backcountry, just do the proper stuff. Go take your classes, go learn. At the end of the day, there's no like cut and dry, like it's safe. Like there's always danger. It really comes down to what risk are you willing to take. I have a family and kids, and I'm still really young, so I don't take incredibly risky risks where you see some of these pro snowboarders and they're dropping the lines you see in movies. They're taking an extreme risk, not just based off avalanche, but based off the pitch and the mountain and the no fall zone and all that type of stuff. But some of those dudes, they're like 24, 25, no kids, no family, like chasing their dreams. So, you know, it just really comes down to like, what risk are you willing to take? And, you know, I found this sweet spot in snowboarding where I don't have to be the best shredder. I still always try to be the best I can be and try to progress myself and push myself, but I don't need to go like drop the sketchiest, gnarliest line so I can pay my bills. Like, I could do the simplest line at Keystone and still pay my bills. So that is a nice thing.
So it's funny, like I've always been thankful for having older siblings, because it's not like, I say this it's not a bad way or anything, but it's just the correct words. Like my older siblings have made mistakes, right? And I'm not pointing any fingers. I've made tons of mistakes as well, but it's more so like my older siblings have made mistakes. And so I was always able to like see that and be able to kind of like earn some knowledge from that, right? And I've always been thankful for that. But now that I'm becoming older, I'm like seeing everything differently as well. Like I'm learning things, and like risk is a big factor. I actually haven't gone snowboarding. Last season was the first season I haven't gone snowboarding in like years. I've always gone snowboarding at least once, maybe twice, or like, you know, well, probably once or maybe 130 times in a season anyways. But it's more so I've always like gone snowboarding, but I've also, as I'm getting older, I'm like, is it worth me like trying a new trick at my age? Yeah, I'm only 25, but it's like I could break a leg of just, if I go up to the mountains one time in a season, just once in a season, I could like break my leg still. So it's like, even as simple as that, not even necessarily life threatening, I'm still like, I don't know if I want to take that risk. Like I'll just enjoy my time snowboarding. I don't need to go crazy. I don't need to end up in the hospital. I don't need to be out of work.
Bro,
I'm fine right where I'm at.
Bro, you gotta learn the new tricks, because you break your leg, you still get to go to work. It's not that big of a deal. You could do your job with a broken leg. Come on, dude. Take the risk.
I could still go to work,
you
yes.
got nothing to lose. You're 25. Come on, dude. You're talking to the wrong person. I'm like, so like, send it, risk it. Like, I'm all about it.
So here,
but the funny thing is, like, Tyler, if he breaks his leg, can't do his job because he's a firefighter. He's coming up here. He's trying tricks. Come on, bro.
so here, what it comes down to is just like, I don't have enough passion behind snowboarding to like justify it, right? Like
No, I get that.
Like here, I'm going to use an analogy that doesn't really exist, but it's like, let's say if I had the opportunity of breaking my leg, or like if I had the ability to risk breaking my leg playing video games versus me snowboarding, like I would much rather risk it for like the video games, because that's just where my passion's at, right? I love snowboarding, but it's really not for me. I tried it. I lived in the mountains for 2 years. Johnathan and I did go snowboarding 130 days in a single season together. Like, I've tried it. I love it and I miss it sometimes, but it's like, it's not my passion. It's not for me. I know where I stay. So
imagine if you did break your leg playing video games. That could be your viral video, bro. That could be it. I broke my legs playing Wii Sports.
Next video I post is me just like slamming my leg up against the table.
Someone's probably broke their leg playing Wii Sports. Believe it.
So
or not.
This is cynical of me, but I love it. So my wife likes the show 600 Pound Life, which I'm okay with. It's fascinating watching it, but it's about people on their weight loss journey, and I am a huge supporter of like seeing people on their weight loss journey. Like, I love scrolling through social media and it's like somebody really big and they lost like 400 pounds or even less, like 200 pounds or whatever. And I'm like, that's kick ass. Like, thanks for sharing that. Like, this is awesome, right? I love seeing that stuff. But I was watching, or it was on, and I saw it, and this couple, it's cute, it's wholesome, but they were like, we were trying to lose weight together and we didn't know how to do it. So they started playing Wii Sports together to like try to get their bodies moving and stuff. And I was like, that's wholesome. That's cute. But yeah, you're right. They probably can break a leg playing video games.
That's funny. So think about this. Think about the mind shift that person that lost 300 pounds had. And like the fact that at any given day, you can not only change your thought process, but literally change who you are any given day. I know personally for me, I remember the day, I don't remember the date, but I remember the day I found this seminar by Jim Rohn at Target early in the morning. It was just like recommended to me on YouTube. And I was like, had my headphones in. And I was like, what's this? And I played it. And I listened to Jim Rohn give a seminar about, if I could do it, why can't you? I'm just a farm boy from Idaho, and I've become a multimillionaire. Why can't you do it? And I remember listening to this whole seminar, and I was like, I'm going to be different from this day forward. And I texted Bobby, and I said, hey, from this day forward, I'm going to be a better husband. I'm going to be a better man. I'm going to make more money. And like, I decided from that day that I'd be a different person. And I went from being a minimum wage employee at Target. I was a manager, but like, I went from that to then being a business owner that I have a very successful business. Let's just put it that way. And I don't know, like there was a day that I was like, I'm going to be different. And like literally anybody can do that, which is rad.
So I would love for you to send me that podcast or that seminar, because you actually never told me that story. Now, for me, I 100% kind of like, I saw that recently, kind of what you said, where he's like, if I can do it, why can't you? It's not that I've never like had that mindset, but like, I met a business owner and like I talked to him and stuff, and I got to know him a little bit, and I was just like, this guy's running a multi-million-dollar business. Like, what? There's no way I couldn't. And so it like, that's the way I kind of see it. And like, it's a driving factor. That's a little bit more like, that's a little bit meaner of a way to get motivated, I guess you could say. So like, I would love to hear this seminar, but no, it's like, it really is a mindset thing. And to talk on that show, for those people that like lose the weight and everything, I like to watch it and kind of like analyze the person. And it 100% is a lifestyle change. But I also, or a mindset change. It's 100% a mindset change. But I also like do sympathize with them, because I understand how difficult it is. Food became their drug, and food is in every, like, it's in almost every aspect of your life. You even go to like, if I go to work, my employees, they're all cool guys and everything, but they eat bad food. They order food every single day. They bring in donuts all the time. They get Dutch Bros. They get drinks. They get all this stuff. And it's just like, if like I was addicted to food, and if I'm just going to work and that's what I see, people getting Taco Bell, people getting Wingstop, people getting, donuts in the morning, like that's torturous. And then eventually like they get so addicted and they eat so much that they become immobile. And now their family, who probably wasn't healthy to begin with, is the only one providing them food. And they're going to McDonald's to get them food, or they're going to KFC and all this stuff. And so it's like, I understand, like I sympathize with them. And it really is like a mindset change where it's like, you just have to be like, I'm fed up with this. I am done with this. No more. And like, you just say no. And like, I know how difficult that can be, but that's why like I love those weight loss journeys. It's like, I'm so proud of you for changing your mind, which is very difficult for a lot of people, and becoming a bigger person by being a better person. So yeah.
You're becoming a bigger person by becoming a smaller person. Hey, I'm not joking. I literally in my journal today wrote that I'm so disciplined and I do so well with discipline, except for when it comes to food. And that like the only reason why Whole30 works so well for me is because it's a challenge. And like if I love challenges, so if it's like, oh, you can't do this, I'm like, oh yeah, I bet. Like here we go. And so like that's why Whole30 also works so well for me, because when I'm like, okay, doing Whole30, like it's a challenge, 30 days, like no energy drinks, no sugar, none of this. I'm like, I can do that. The moment it's over, I'm just like, oh, it's so hard to say no to stupid things that I like should easily be able to like you said, like, oh, like I know this is bad for me. I'm not gonna eat that, but I'm like, I don't know, Mr. Beast chocolate bar. I haven't tried it yet. And so I eat it, and I'm like, ah.
So it's funny you mentioned that. My wife and I were looking at chocolate yesterday, but particularly we wanted to find a healthier dark chocolate. Like that's what we were looking for. And dude, looking at the ingredients list on chocolate, like on dark chocolate, is ridiculous. Because even on dark chocolate, all of them like contain milk. It gets ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, like what's in all this stuff. But I did look at a dark chocolate Feastable bar. There actually was only like 6 or 7 ingredients in there. There really wasn't that much.
I was saying,
I was actually surprised.
Because I look at every ingredient thing now that I'm putting in my mouth, and yeah, Feastables, not that bad for you. They definitely have the lower amount of ingredients compared to their competitors and stuff, which is rad.
Another one that we picked up that threw me off, my wife looked at it, I didn't, and it was the plant-based Reese's peanut butter cup. And that actually, I can't remember, but there really wasn't that much wrong with it. It was a plant-based Reese's peanut butter cup branded by Reese's peanut butter. Like it's a Reese's peanut butter cup, and it wasn't that bad for us. So we ended up buying that. I didn't try it yet though, so I'm excited to try that.
That's pretty bad. I literally had, where was I going to go? I had the next thing to talk about, and I lost it.
It's gone. It's gone forever.
So Feastables is Jimmy's new product, and Logan.
Okay, whoa. Jimmy, you're just on first name basis with these guys? You want to tell me about this?
Yeah, Jimmy, Logan. I'm an influencer. These guys are my peers. And so these influencers are now all launching their own product. And the biggest reason why they're doing that is like no one can pay Mr. Beast enough money for the type of attention his channel is bringing. So instead of taking really low ad money and like just absolutely killing it for a different company, what he's doing is promoting his own company because he's going to make more money doing that. And it makes total sense. It's like, okay, if no one can pay me $10 million for an ad spot, I'll just make a company and put my company in that ad spot and then get all that attention to my own company. And so for me personally, I want to this summer, I want to launch a wax company. I think promoting snowboard wax, I think I could totally take over the snowboard wax game if I could come out with wax that's rad, advertise it all the time in my videos when I don't have a sponsored video. I think that's the game changer, because just like stickers, the wax is such a high profit margin product, you know? And like once I get it all dialed in, and I have this really cool idea for like the shape of the bar will be the Evolution logo, and then as you like melt down past like the tall walking guy and you only have the skier and snowboarder left, like that's when you know you need to order your next bar of wax, and like a bunch of really cool ideas and things. So I think like those dudes, I got to launch a company, like an additional company on top of my channel. The other thing you do with that too is like, I would then go to ski shops and not be like, oh, I'm a YouTuber, this is why you should buy my wax. It's like, hey, no, like we're a new wax company. Would you like to hold our wax in your ski shop? And then, you know, and then have like this whole separate side. And then when people go into like Christie Sports, they're like, oh, like there's Buckhouse Wax. Like I got to grab a bar of that type thing.
That's really cool. I will say, I don't know if it's a pattern that we just have to follow now or whatnot, but it's also like, it's only a good thing. So like, why not? But it's like when you see Feastables, like I'm pretty sure that Jimmy, I'm gonna call him by his Jimmy, he purposely made it to where there's like not a lot of ingredients in there. Like he wanted it to be like a better option. And then even Ryan Trahan, who I'm actually getting more and more into Ryan Trahan. I think that he's a really cool guy, and I think that he's doing great with his channel and everything. He made a candy company where it's like gummy candies, right? Like the Ripstick, stuff like that. But there's like literally 3 grams of sugar in it or something like that. Like it's like a very healthier option of candy than just getting Skittles or whatever.
Yeah, but I was Ryan's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was just gonna say though, like when you're creating this wax company, I feel like you almost have to have in mind like the biodegradable and like stuff like that, because it has to have like another like driving factor on why you should buy it. Like, hey, this is like, it's not gonna be bad for the environment when you scrape your wax off in the parking lot, you know, stuff like that. And like, I just think that you have to capitalize on a beneficial factor like that, as well as being like your brand. So
see, I'm gonna go the opposite, because everyone already is making like healthy wax for the planet, things like that. I'm gonna go the opposite. I'm like, this stuff is horrible for the planet, but it smells great. It's all about the smell. Like, be the best smelling person on the mountain, leave a scent behind. Like, but
get partnered with partnered with Old Spice. Like,
yeah, dude, the commercials we could film would be great. Now the idea is to go past merch. So like right now, like I sell my stickers, link the description. I'm joking. I sell my stickers, and then I have my hats and my shirts, and like that's merch. But like a physical product is just different, and especially when it's something that's like a need for someone's daily. So like for skiers and snowboarders, a daily need, or like should be a pretty consistent daily, weekly, however long you're going, need is snowboard wax, ski wax. So like there is a clear need for that. So, you know, like it's not just merch. Like no one needs my sticker. No one needs my shirts, but people need wax. And just like food, like chocolate, drinks, it's consumed. So you buy my wax and you will consume it and use it and need it again. So if you liked it, you will order it again.
Yeah, and I also like I lost my train of thought, but it's a routine thing, right? Like is somebody gets used to drinking the prime, is it an energy drink or is it just a sports drink? I can't remember.
They have both, sports and energy.
Both. Yeah, so like the sports energy drink, like I actually don't. No, I don't drink a lot of stuff. I drink water and black tea. That's about what I drink. But if you consume that sports drink on every time you go to the gym, or every time you go to your sporting events, or anytime you go to just work out or be in nature or whatever, you're drinking that, it becomes a part of your routine. So it's like for you, if every time every time you wax your board, you're using Johnathan Buckhouse wax, like that's what you're going to do, right? Like you're just going to keep doing it.
Well, and think about this. So someone uses my wax and then they have their best ever day riding, and all of a sudden they associate like, oh, I had the best day ever, and it's because like I waxed my board and it was performing so well, you know, like there's so much to it. And then a wax, I mean, there's legitimately just wax companies that only sell wax scrapers, brushes, things for the wax. Like I could fully build like the next version of the wax for the ski and snowboard industry on top of like, or on the side of my YouTube channel. And once again, I just have the ultimate way to advertise it for free. And so this is definitely something like I'm figuring out this summer. And I've also worked with wax companies in the past. And let's just say I've sold tens of thousands of dollars worth of wax just for them and just from me as an influencer. So like I already know in a lot of ways that, and that's like with occasional plugging. Like if I was to launch my own, like I could increase, my yearly income tens of thousands of dollars if I could just figure it out.
Everything's easier said than done, but I feel like that's not a rocket science industry to get into. I don't feel like that's too complicated. But also I'm not like a wax guru. Maybe Ski Doc would be the better one to learn that from, but it's more so like I feel like it's not like I feel like you have to learn quite a bit, but it's not like anything more than an energy drink or whatever,
Yeah, like because I could be like something impossible for me to figure out, and then I have to think of things in the sense of too, like, okay, am I going to be an influencer forever, or am I going to use this current influence I have to build something real and tangible? And like, where can I start with building the company, if that makes sense? And like at first I was like, oh, maybe it's snowboards, maybe it's this and everything like that. But it's like, I think that starting with the wax and then going from wax to the next thing would be way easier than trying to start with like snowboard bindings or, these things that would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to get incredible quantities of. I could spend probably $30,000 before this upcoming winter and get an inventory for the whole year or 2 or 3 years of wax. Does that make sense?
And I know that, so this is something that Harris Heller has mentioned in his videos and whatnot. And so Harris Heller created Stream Beats, and I think that they changed it to Senpai Records now. But anyways, what it is it's copyright free music that you can just find on YouTube. And why that's amazing is my company, and Johnathan uses one similar. My company uses Invanto, and what that is it's a website that I can go to and get like, it's not copyright free music, but it's like licensed music, so I can get licensed music from them, so that way it essentially is copyright free for me to use it. But I also can get like transitions for Adobe, or I can get stock footage. Like I just used a plane taking off, and like I downloaded that from the internet and put it in my video as if I filmed it, right? And all of that's licensed through my company, so I'm able to use it. But what Harris Heller did was he just created a YouTube channel in which you can go and watch and listen to non-copyrighted music while you're streaming, or download it so that way you can put it in your YouTube videos. And it's all pretty good music. And the reason why he did that is you don't have any manufacturing or storage. Like you don't have to deal with any of that. You create it and you put it on the internet, and it's mass sold that way. Like anyone can listen to it, anyone can download it. You don't have to do anything extra. You don't have to like pack the order and ship it out, right? You don't have to cut out the sticker cut out, or you don't have to get all these wax inserts and have different colors and flavor or in scents and things like that and store them somewhere. All of it is just virtual. So like there's other, and I'm not saying that that's what you need to do. I'm just just talking right now, right, about like other avenues that people can make a business similar without it being as complicated as manufacturing a whole product,
Yeah. And as I sit in this chair, I'm gonna tell you guys, I am at 0% of this wax company being created, but just talking about it on this podcast literally has gotten me so motivated and hyped. And I got my little 8 critical tasks that I've been knocking out every single day, still, even through Mother's Day, which has been brutal. And I'm going to put in for tomorrow the first step of this wax journey. So I'm really hyped on it. And it's kind of why I wanted it, not why, but it's just I felt pulled to talk about it. And that just means it's the right thing to do, which is launch this wax company.
I was like trying to think of like what is our kind of podcast really about, and I know that we didn't want to set up boundaries, we didn't want to set up limitations, we didn't want to set up genre specific things, right? We do talk about sports, and I'll be honest, like I watched the Nuggets game last night. I'm getting into basketball. I need to get into like hockey and baseball and stuff like that. But like I know that come football season, you and I are gonna be talking lots about football and stuff like that. But it's also like video games. Like I was gonna talk about, and then we can still talk about it a little bit, but like my goal is like to have a esports organization, right? Like I love, like we can just talk about video games, we talk about snowboarding a lot, but I think the main thing that we talk about, bro, and I love it, but the main thing that we talk about is like social media growth, social media strategies, and business ideas and business strategies and things like that. And I love that for us. I think that that's like great. I think that's like kind of our main topic, but I love it. I love talking about that with you. But I 100% know what you mean, that like it sparks a small fire. Like when you're talking with like-minded people, when you're talking about people that have the same goal as you, like it only helps you build these like great ideas or these great motivation or like inspiring moments where you're like, I'm gonna go kick ass today or whatever, you know?
Well, yeah, and I think too, it's good for people. Let's just say like an audience member, they could look at my current social media and be like, oh man, this dude's done it. Like he's making good money. He has employees. He snowboards for a living. You know, like they look at like what I've already accomplished and they're like, dang, like that's so much. And when I'm sitting here and like, hey, I think I'm going to start this wax company, I'm showing like the beginning of something where like the beginning of this YouTube channel is, or my YouTube channel is 8 years ago. You know, it took 8 years to get where I'm at, and I'm still like a small creator in the sense, you know. And so I hope that with this podcast and us being like, hey, I think we're going to start this, even if this podcast is a new journey and a new start and it's so small, you know, and eventually it's going to get bigger. And then one day people are going to be like, dang, like that's a huge podcast. And they're just going to see where it is currently. So I don't know, like being able to talk and show people like I'm at 0% on this wax company. And I hope in 3 years, you're like, dang, like that wax company is it. Like they're killing it. They did it. But you know, does that make sense? Like showing the progress and knowing that you guys can also do whatever that is, whatever you want to start.
Although it wasn't born on the podcast, it's like it started on the podcast, right? You like thought about it for a while, and then here you're like, you know what? I need to do that tomorrow. Like you already have your 8 mandatory tasks today, so like you're putting on to like tomorrow's to mandatory list. But it's like you're like, because we talked about it, that just reminded you. It's like I need to get into that, and then all of a sudden, like then we're just gonna have this journey of your wax company documented on the podcast, essentially.
Could be cool. Could be cool to talk through the struggles and things with you, or with you, and then like share obviously with the audience and stuff. And I don't know, I'm excited. Like I think a lot of people start a podcast with the hopes of going famous or it being their thing. And I love, for me personally, like this podcast is just a side thing. Like I have my channel, I have, you know, my business and everything I'm focused on. And like, to me, this is like, I'm doing this because it's fun and I get to hang out with you. And I think when that's your mindset is like, oh, like I'm doing this because it's fun and I want to like talk with my brother and I want to just do fun things with people that I love. That's when success comes, not when obviously you want to will things to existence. You want to give things effort. You want to try. But like, if your goal is money, fame, like I'm not like, man, we're going to be the next Joe Rogan. Like that's not my intentions at all on this podcast. And I can't speak for you, but having the proper intentions, just like when we started the first YouTube channel, I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to snowboard with you. And I was like, whatever, I'll just have videos of me and my brother snowboarding. It'll be sick. And then 8 years later, here I am, you know, doing it for a living. I think having the right purpose behind what you do is literally the end all be all of why something will be successful. And like with the wax company, my purpose behind that is to give people incredible days on the mountain, because that's what wax does, and be able to leave my brother, or not my brother, and be able to leave my family a business. AKA leave Ben.
I'll take your business when you leave, bro. I'll take your business. Well, I mean, I guess I'm in the podcast for the wrong business. I'm purely using this to jumpstart my career. No, I'm joking. No, I'm in the podcast because honestly, there's a couple of driving factors. For starters, Johnathan like needed this, as in like we needed to diversify, right? We needed to take him to the next level. So like that actually is a driving factor. I also am doing this like for my nieces and nephews because like we need to diversify and like give them a life that they deserve, right? So that is one driving factor why I'm doing this. But also I know that you and I are really cool people. Like I'm gonna be up forward about that. I'm gonna be cocky. I'm gonna be confident. I don't care because that's just who I am. We are cool people. People like to hang out with us. People like to talk with us. So being able to like mass produce that, like be able to have like welcome all these people into like be friends with us and have that opportunity, like I think it's really cool. I also think, once again, being cocky and confident, I think I've got a very, very fascinating brain, just like the way that my brain works and the way that my like the way I think and the way that my thoughts work and everything like that. So diving into that into like an hour-long podcast of just like what's in Ben's brain, like that's pretty fun to me. So I that's also another reason why I'm in the podcast, to learn more about myself, essentially.
Well, your brain will be there forever, bro, or hopefully if things that are on the internet last forever. But I do want to give a big shout out to Ben, by the way, guys. He is the person that is editing these podcasts, uploading them, doing all of the back end work. So big shout out to Ben, who is, because I'd be honest, I got so much going on that I wouldn't be able to do my current edits and my channel and all that type of stuff and manage this podcast. So big shout out to Ben for doing all of the work behind the scenes.
Yeah, no problem. It's fun. I'm learning a lot about podcasting. Admittedly, like my colleague at work, he started in podcasts, so I'm gonna pick his brain on some things, but I'm having fun with it. I've noticed some like quality changes and things like that. For instance, like from the first 5 episodes to these episodes, my webcam is different and it's exponentially better. So that's gonna be better for the podcast. We're still playing around with Johnathan's mic on the best way of doing this, but I think we're dialing it down. So hopefully here soon, we're gonna have like the highest quality podcast we possibly can for you guys. And I'm stoked on it, and I'm stoked on what's to come.
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of podcasts and the people are like in the same room, and like I think that stops some people from like starting a podcast or like starting something. And my brother lives 2.5 hours away from me. We're not going to get into the same room, at least on a weekly basis. You know, it'd be rad to do it occasionally, things like that. Or like if this podcast does become successful, then it's like, okay, let's prioritize being in the same place. Like, let's bring on guests, you know, like down the road. Like, it's not this like some people will make it so big. I can't start a podcast because I don't have guests. Obviously, if you're just one person, I mean, you still could start a podcast. Just pick a topic that you know about and love and just talk about it. But at the end of the day, everything starts with execution. So just start doing something and figure out the audio later, figure out the visual later. Right now, we're only posting it on YouTube. We'll be able to backtrack and put these older episodes on Spotify and iTunes and things like that. But for now, we're just starting, and it's starting on YouTube, and that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, no, I know that we're gonna reach a point where, like, there's gonna be a time, and I'm actually thinking relatively soon. I'll message you about it. But it's us, like, I can make a trip up to the mountains, and we can do a podcast in your office together, right? Like, that's 100% a possibility, and so that's something I would love to do. Like, it's tangible, and like, eventually, if the podcast is killing it, like, we could make that the thing. Is like, oh yep, Ben's just driving up to the mountains this weekend or whatever to go do the podcasts and or whatever, you know, however we need to do it. So no, I think that it's like we've got potential. It is the Buckhouse Podcast. We could easily have our brother on here, our sisters on here. We could have all that types of stuff. We could have my wife on here. So like it's the Buckhouse Podcast. This is our family. This is what we do, and I'm sure that we'll still have some other people come on the podcast with us, right? Jimmy, whenever you're available, Jimmy. Also known
Jimmy,
as Mr. Beast,
Ryan, you know.
Yeah, Ryan, Casey Neistat.
Jake,
if you guys want to be on the podcast, just let us know. I think we can make it work out, but
might be able to
I'm stoked on the podcast.
No, definitely. And once again, it's like, what's your intentions? Like, I'm not worried about having guests on because I'm not chasing views or clicks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just have to just talk to you, bro, and it's gonna be fun. People are gonna enjoy it. But with that being said, I have to go wake up Bobby because she's got a doctor's appointment today, and if I don't, she's gonna kill me. So, guys,
I
I
was
hope you
paying attention
enjoyed
to the
this
time.
episode.
I know you gotta go.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, bro. I love talking with you. Thank you for all the hard work. And you want me to close it out?
Yeah, let's close it up. Let's get out of here.
Thanks for watching. Keep evolving. Well, it's not joking. That's how I end my YouTube videos. But guys, seriously, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed the banter between me and my brother. Get a little motivation, get a little insight. We didn't even talk about video games really on today's episode, but we game. We love sports. We love snowboarding. It's going to be rad. I don't know. Subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow with another episode. Not tomorrow. Next week with no daily podcast here.
No daily
podcast. See ya.
All right. See you guys next week. Peace.